Follow best practice, as outlined in this video, to effectively complete your assignments and avoid resubmission. The most common reason for resubmissions, we find, is that learners haven't fully read or answered the question. Although this is basic, it's important to read the question, highlight keywords, and then answer all parts of the question in sufficient detail. Each assignment brief will have a short answer question section. Short answers will not need any more than half an A4 page at most. Some will just need a yes or no. Please don't add more detail than required for these very short questions. Avoid big blocks of text for all answers. Some answers will require a lot more detail. The best way to present this is in a clear way, with subheadings. An example could be using the headings, drug name, drug group, mode of action, administration, and limitations when asked to describe a drug. Keywords within questions include state, name, describe, explain, outline, review, and so on. It's important to understand what is required for each one. Give, state, or name requires recall of concise information. If a question asks for 3 examples, it's essential you provide 3. When describing, you must give a clear account in your own words, including all the relevant information. Description shows recall and in some cases application. For example, the symptoms of MI are chest pain, pain radiating from the chest to other parts of the body, such as the abdomen and arms, dizziness, sweating, nausea and vomiting, extreme anxiety and shortness of breath. Explain. An explanation requires you to provide details and give reasons, examples, and/or evidence to support an argument or point. This is far more detailed than a description. Outline. This is similar to a description but requires slightly less detail. You should write a description setting out the main characteristics or points, being as clear as possible but without going into too much detail. Compare and contrast. This usually requires some detail. You should explain the similarities and differences and/or advantages and disadvantages of 2 main factors that relate to a situation. This may include saying which is best and why. Remember, to compare is to find the similarities, and to contrast is to find the differences. Assess. When assessing, you must show that you have an in-depth understanding of the topic. You should consider all the factors, events, and concepts that apply to a situation to identify those that are most relevant and arrive at a conclusion. Review. You should formally assess work that has been produced. You are expected to make judgments about whether ideas are good or credible, and to make suggestions about improvements and changes. You will be asked to produce leaflets or training guides for some of the assignments. When asked to do so, present your work in the format that is being asked for, and remember your target audience. These will most likely be used by both patients and trainee technicians, so complex language is not required. It is very important to present your work clearly. Font size should be no larger than 12. This is academic guidance for the presentation of work. Always number your answers. If the questions are numbered 3A, 3B, 3C, etc., number your answers accordingly. Use subtitles to make each answer clear. Avoid writing huge paragraphs with lots of detail in. For example, if you are writing about several aspects of a drug, then break it down into subtitles. Leave space between your answers so that they are clear and straightforward to mark. If you are completing a resubmission, make sure it is clear which parts have been added. This is usually done by using a different color font. To start your assignment in the right way, always copy and paste the brief onto a new document. This ensures your answers are numbered clearly and that you don't miss out any of the questions. You will need to do research for some of the assessments, Please ensure that you always use UK-based websites as reference sources. Don't use American sites, as the drugs they use are often not licensed for use in this country. The BNF is going to be your best resource for these assignments. You can download the app, look online, or use the paper version. Some other important points to note. Always ensure any diagrams you use are appropriately referenced. If you are asked to complete a table, copy and paste the table into your work and place your answers in the relevant box. You will only need to add the detail requested in the question as opposed to fill out the whole table. Always add a list of your reference sources, even if it is just the module workbook, it must be there. If you need more information or support, please contact your assessor or member services.